Have you seen that replay, buddy?
All right, man, I'm done talking to you.
You can't be done talking to me. You're right here facing me.
I back. Trust me, I back.
Dana! 60 G's, baby! But I'm not impressed by your performance.
It's normal. Come on, guys. It's normal.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing.
I'm the man of the hour, Joe. Too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. I'm the women's pick. I'm the men's regret. And if you win against Chael Sonnen, you made a bad bet.
I don't have much left to say other than you have seen nothing yet.
Yeah, what's happening, Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people? Then we're back with another episode of Dust Stop Shakedown, and I got my bro Cross in the house. Cross, how you doing, my guy?
Man, I'm good. Ola, it's always good to come on here with you, get to chop it up, man. It's always a good time.
100%, my bro, 100%. We've got 313 loading up in the pipeline with Pereira and Ankalaev. Just grab my lighter there. And it's gonna be a good night of fight. I mean, we just had a very, very nice card pass, but this fight here that we got coming up with Ankalaev, we know how you feel about your boy Pereira. I'm coming in. You know, I dropped a little video in the chat earlier in the week with Ankalaev, hitting the mitts and that. He kind of looks ready, but I'm thinking, God damn. But this is gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good card. But there's been a few videos that Leroy has left with us in the video section for both of us to talk about. We're still expecting Yao. Yao, if you're watching, pull up. We're waiting on you. But we have a few videos to get through tonight. So people, sit back, relax, and kick it with us. And before we go ahead with the first video, shout out to the bro Magdane. He just lost his boy Nero. Nero just passing to the other side. Shout out Nero, good dog. You know what I mean? And I did say to Magdane, yeah, I go raise a glass, I go raise a drink for Nero tonight, man. You know what I mean? So big up Magdane. He's just kicking it at home with the family right now, getting himself together. So yeah, rest in peace, Nero. Here's one for you. There you go. Right there. Right, we got this video to go through, and I'm gonna drop the first one and get your take on this one. Let's go.
Mark Shapiro, the TKO president, says that he believes the UFC could increase revenue if they started doing more shows at the UFC APEX. He said, when it comes to the UFC, our margin could be higher if we decided to do less international events, maybe even less domestic touring events, and do them in the Apex Arena at Las Vegas, where you own the arena. And when you are watching it on TV, you can't tell if you are in a stadium or in an arena, or if you are at the small but mighty Apex that we have in Las Vegas. Now, the overwhelming majority of MMA fans are not happy over this statement. Over the years, it's become obvious that most people prefer the UFC events in arenas, not the Apex. Kenny Florian reacted saying, besides the crowd, energy, noise, atmosphere, lighting, cage size, and excitement, it's exactly the same. Is it better economics though? I'm 100% sure it is. This user writes, disappointing. Hope someone asks Dana about it this Saturday. This is so disjointed of a statement. There is a massive difference for me watching at home. That's an absolute lie. There is nothing like a thunderous crowd as two warriors throw down in the cage. And this is an absolutely ridiculous, shameless lie.
First of all, shout out to Full Mount MMA. They produce these videos. We use them over here. You know what I mean? In front of the channel. Salute to Full Mount MMA. So go check out their work on their page. They're big. They do their thing every single week. And they're good at loading up MMA news and current events that's concerning combat sports. So big up people. Make sure you go over there and check them out. So Cross, I mean, with Ben Shapiro there talking about maximizing the use of the Apex. We know these guys are about their money, but judging from the statements there, have they really got the interest of the fans at heart though? I mean, what's your take on the whole idea of maximizing the use of the Apex for commercial reasons?
So from a business standpoint, yes, it makes 100%. Now that that's out of the way, I absolutely hate this, bro. Like I don't like the Apex. None of the fans like the Apex. The only bright spot about the Apex is that you can hear the coaches talking, you can hear the impact, you can hear the fighters talking to each other. But outside of that, it pales in comparison to a live show in front of a live crowd. And just the atmosphere is second to none, and you can't replace that. But me trying to figure out a way to make the best out of a bad situation. How about let's make Dana White's Contender Series a year-round thing in the Apex? I don't think any of the fans will have a problem with that. You know what I mean? And then you still allowing the sport to grow. But I get it. Like guys, they're going to make decisions based on the bottom line and the type of money they're making.
100%. These guys, they think about the money. And Dana brags about it every time they break records and stuff like that. The revenue for the UFC is so important to them. And for me, if it meant the purses of the fighters were going to be fattened, I'll be more up for it. But I haven't heard that in Shapiro's sort of presentation, if you like. I've not heard that okay, once we get the maximization of the revenue from the Apex, we're going to increase fighter purses by 20%, by 25%, by 10%, by something. We're going to increase bonuses. We're going to give them more incentives. We're going to maybe offer them medical insurance, like Francis Ngannou requested for all the fighters. They haven't said any of that. If they said something like that, fans might say, you know what? Yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice the entertainment value that I get from arenas for using the Apex even way more often, because it gives the fighters this and it gives the fighters that. And with that, the fighters feel like they have to then give more to the fans in terms of, preparations and, maybe even putting more effort into making weight in some cases. So I just think they haven't really thought about the fans or the fighters in this case. They're just thinking about the bottom line in that presentation that I saw. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And like you said, apart from the impact, because I do like when we watch certain fights in the Apex and you just hear the thud from the punching, and it gives you that certain effect that you don't get if you're not at fights. And even if you're at fights, because of how loud the arena is, you don't really hear the punches like that. So you've been to quite a few fights yourself. But I don't know. I hope as this progresses, if it does progress, they try and at least factor the fighters and the earnings in this one, because that's one of the only reasons MMA fighters, especially in the UFC, are always eyeballing boxing, because the payday over there is so much bigger, without risking a lot in the toolbox, if you know what I mean, because you only got to go in there and punch. You ain't got to kick. You ain't expecting elbows. You ain't expecting the head kick. You ain't expecting someone to choke you out. You only got to go up there and throw hands with bigger gloves and get paid significantly, much more than you get in the UFC. So maybe that's something the UFC could use to bridge the gap. I don't know what you think.
I mean, me and you both know they're not thinking about paying the fighters. They're not going to pay the fight. The UFC is going to fight that tooth and nail with everything they got to try and not pay the fighters. So, I mean, that's just tough. But the Apex, man, it was when it first was the thing during the pandemic, like we all were so thankful for it. But now we just all want it to go away.
Yeah, man. Big up everybody in the chat. I see Matwa in the chat, Lazy Red. We got Scott in the house, Leroy. Salute to all of you, MMA Normally. Big up everybody that's locked in. I mean, like Mato says, yeah, making weight incentives. I mean, interesting how about hitting money moves, hit a double spinning back fist. Yeah, like the bonuses could get bigger as well. So
I actually got an idea on something they could do with the bonuses that would instantly make the impact. Let's say hypothetically, don't matter where you are on the card, you get a first round finish, 15K bonus. Second round finish, 10K bonus, automatic. Third round finish, 5K bonus, automatic. So now you're incentivizing everybody to go out there and finish their opponent.
100%. That sounds good. That sounds good. And there's been a lot of times as well when they're giving out bonuses, man, where I've been kind of pissed off with the people they're selecting to get the bonuses. Like this lower ranked fighters that's not really getting that big of a purse. You find them knocking out opponents or finishing opponents in a very, very impressive way in the first round, because if you're going to get performance of the night bonus, you really need to be finishing in the first round. You know, the first couple minutes in the first round even. And that's where you really get, that performance of the night bonus. But then you see them giving all these fully made, rich fighters, you know, the ones that already made it, like the easies, like when Khabib was there, like these guys are making serious money, right? And they're getting the bonuses when really and truly, whoever it is, maybe say a Barcelos that's way down there, that's not really getting paid that amount of money, it's not getting the bonus, and that used to get on my nerves. But you know, if they can, I don't know. There's your idea is good though. I think your idea is good. You know what I mean? Because it gives them, like, you know what, I want to finish the fight as quick as possible. Because that's a brilliant idea.
Or just like Leroy said, like if guys on the main card making bigger money, you could actually make it tiered to what they're getting paid. So say for instance, if it's somebody on the prelims and it's a first round finish, it could be 15K. But if it's somebody on the main card that's in like the co-main, it could be like 30K or 50K, like anything. Like, I'm open to any ideas to try and make the sport as exciting as possible.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. All right, let's get on to this next video here from Leroy. And it's a shame the Tony Ferguson fans ain't here like Olin and Leroy to really wax lyrical on this. But I will do my best to destroy Tony Ferguson. Let's go.
Tony Ferguson opens up on his UFC departure ahead of his rematch against Kevin Lee in the GFL set for May 11th. Tony, who had been with the UFC since 2011, appeared on the Arial Helwani show yesterday to reflect on his exit from the promotion after a storied 13-year run. While Tony insists he's not disappointed with his overall UFC experience, he still appears to hold lingering animosity, particularly over being stripped of his interim lightweight title in 2018. Tony was forced to withdraw from his highly anticipated fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 223 after suffering a freak knee injury, a decision that still seems to leave him feeling bitter to this day. Tony said, "I have to tell you, I packed up all my UFC stuff, I put it into bags, and that was the hardest thing I had to do. It was a couple of days where it took time for me to be able to adjust. I put everything in big storage bags, and I was ready to move on. I went into the Ultimate Fighter with a purpose of winning a fat check, so I could help my family out, my grandma and everything, and I ended up getting a contract, so the whole entire process has never been a disappointment. But what it has been is a learning experience of how, 1, about how I go about my business, 2, about how I treat my close circle, 3, about how I want to plan for the future. Right now, where we're at in this stage, it's so amazing that there is an opportunity for a lot of other people to display their things, and new clothes and new jersey and new name on the shirt. It's such a great feeling to have and a relief to move on. No bad blood anywhere. I think this is great. I have fought for I don't know how many years waiting for a championship, and then getting it, and then having it taken, and then dangling in front of me again. Like what? What do you think I am? I'm a human being. I'm not trying to bitch and moan. I'm a tough motherfucker, and I'm a human being. But at least if you do this to me, you're not going to feel bad for doing it to the next person. And then there's a lawsuit, and there's other things. But that's not what I'm focused on. My focus is always to what? Keep the sport moving."
Yeah, Tony's had an industrious career, you know, and he, from my point of view, a worthy adversary for Khabib, but the fight never materializes. But what did you make of what he was saying there, in that clip, and some of the regrets he had, not really fulfilling what he would have liked to happen with his career in the UFC?
I mean, it makes perfect sense. Think about it. Like, you're training for so many years. You make it to the UFC. You become an interim champion. You have all these fights matched up against Khabib, 29, well, not 29-0 at the time, but Khabib Nurmagomedov. And then you fight Justin Gaethje, and it pretty much just blows up all in your face, and it just goes downhill from there. When you think about it, like, athletes, when they get to the highest level of their sport, you're consumed by it. You're so much invested in it that it's like an addiction. And then when you take that step away and you don't have, imagine like coming out and you're walking in the arena, you're making that walk to the octagon. All these people are going crazy and you're going in there to get in there. Imagine what that does to your emotions. And now you don't get to experience that anymore. Like, and you see it with athletes in other sports. Like, it takes time to adjust. That, like you've experienced that, what it's like, and you miss it as anyone would, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. And unfortunately, I brought up Justin Gaethje, and we could be seeing a similar type thing this weekend.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, look, the type of character that Tony Ferguson was, the type of fighter he was. I mean, I love this fighting style. One of the only reason that this is just on some fun rivalry business, where I'm like, oh yeah, I don't fuck with Tony like that, but I loved when Tony ain't talking about Khabib and he's doing other things. Like, yeah, I'm down to see Tony, and I'm down to see Tony do work. And there's this famous picture of what Tony does to his opponents, and they're all bloodied up, every single one of them. They had Cerrone in there, they had Kevin Lee in there, they had all sorts of, all the opponents that he's been in there with, and how much damage that it does to these guys. And like you said, going through those tough times, the mental issues, having to fight through those, get back on track, and come back into the UFC. Unfortunately, things didn't go the way that he would have liked it to go by missing that fight with Khabib, because who knows what could have happened on that night. I'm not saying he beats Khabib. You're not even you saying he beats Khabib, but who, in the world of MMA, who knows what could have happened in that fight? And that's
true.
I mean, this fight was cancelled so many times. I don't. Is it a record for the most cancelled fight that we never saw?
I think so. I think so. It was like 5-6 times, right?
Yeah, it's wild. But big shout out to Tony though. He's down at GFL now, and I don't even think the fighters is going to be fighting over there are going to be on his level. I'm being honest. Like, it was just the record it was on in the UFC. It was like what, seven fight losers.
Yeah, I think it's like 7 fights.
That. So crazy like that. Like, no, Tony, and even Khabib was saying from the side, like, bro, stop chasing this swan song. You keep chasing this swan song. It's not meant for guys like you. It's meant for people like, you know what I mean. You know when to get out. And Tony's been through the mill. He's been through the mill, man. And I want to see him do well. Again, sometimes when you look at some of these fighters, right, you start thinking about health-wise. I want you to get out of the sport before the sport takes you. We see it with Matt Hughes and some of the other fighters out there. We saw it with Muhammad Ali before he passed away. Those sort of moments, you just want the fighters to enjoy it. You want the fighters to enjoy. You want the fighters to at least enjoy the fruit of their labor. I like when I see Randy Couture in movies now, just doing what he's doing. You know, Chuck Liddell just sitting in the crowd. They look good, right? Because they've earned it, they're enjoying it, and that's kind of what I want to see for Tony. I don't want to see him keep suffering and getting knocked out. I mean, the last one, like Paddy Pimblett, like bro, like when Tony was Tony, Paddy couldn't lace Tony's gloves, bro. Like, come on,
Dude,
let's be honest.
somebody in the chat said the Chandler KO is the one, dog. That's the one that
Yeah,
really did it.
Yeah,
That's
one.
why that's our logo on our podcast, because that fucking head
Oh.
kick was mad.
Oh, you just come to leave the shovel on Tony Ferguson now. You just rolled in here and put the shovel on Tony Ferguson. I mean, what have you made of him leaving the UFC and now going to the GFL? And I think he's meant to be fighting Dylan Dennis or something like that.
He went to where? Because honestly, what I've seen out of GFL, let's be realistic. Whatever it is that those guys are doing is not anything that us as MMA fans have yet to really understand. Because when we saw them coming with the draft and fighter league and all that, we thought it was going to be interesting. But then they've gone and taken fighters who are either has-beens, have never fought, if you're talking about Dylan Dennis, or fighters that are completely over the hill. Now, I'm not sure if that's them starting big or trying to start big, but I think, like you said, I don't think Tony should be still fighting in that way. He's on an 8-fight losing streak, basically. Going up against someone who's never really even fought Dylan Dennis. Yes, sure, he's fought sometime way back in the past, but I don't know. Maybe we do want to see that, because we do want to see Dylan Dennis get into an octagon and do something. But other than that, I think all the guys who they've signed really shouldn't be fighting, at least not at the level we think that the GFL would be fighting at.
Hey, this is not a bad idea, Beans MMA just came up with a good one here. Tony needs to stop fighting and go for the literal opposite Conor McGregor in Roadhouse 2. I think Tony will kill it. I think Tony will kill a show like that, man. You know what I mean? Tony will be a wicked villain, man. You know what I mean? The movie.
Imagine if they made like a Habib villain in a movie with Conor.
Oh my days, yeah. I mean, we've seen the extent Conor will go to, just by hearing somebody yell Khabib's name. He goes around to spitting in their faces and bang the nostril, So Conor's crazy like that. Matwa says Dylan Dennis is an interesting matchup. He likes the bench player. He's like the bench player nobody ever seen. But all the fighters say he's nice with it. I mean, nobody's really seen him fight like to cross his point.
Yeah, and I think Bean says they wouldn't have a budget for to repair the bus windows.
Yeah, for real. All right, let's get on to the next topic that Leroy's put together for us here. And Yao, since you just rolled in, I will we'll get your opinion on this one. Let's hear it. It's about your boys' division. Here you go.
Caio called out Robert Whittaker today. Whittaker is currently ranked 5th in the middleweight division, and Caio is ranked 6th. Recently, Rob said he was pushing for a fight with Sean Strickland next. Caio responded saying, "Hey Robert Whittaker, stop calling guys ahead of you in the rankings after you lose a fight, bro. Let's fight UFC 317 on June 29th on International Fight Week. What do you think? What do all you fans think?"
Yo, what do you think? Like full mount MMA just asked. What do you think, brother? Talk to us.
Hey, look, I think I agree with Caio Borralho with how Bobby Knuckles' record's been going recently, and not how, look, he beat Khamzat, don't get me wrong. He squeezed the heck out of Khamzat, squeezed the heck out of him. Did I say he beat Khamzat? Sorry, Cross.
Yeah, you did. Whoa. Easy.
He got beaten by Khamzat. But if we look at him, basically since he lost to Izzy, he hasn't been on the best run. He should be fighting Caio Borralho. Yes, he beat Nasruddin, but I'm not too sure. I think I agree with Caio Borralho. He should be fighting or looking at the fighters beneath him, because at this point he is not a gatekeeper, but he is the best in the top that you need to be to get to the top. But does Bobby have another run in him? Personally, no. Does the UFC think so? I doubt it. But yeah, you always allowed to call up if you want to. We saw Joaquin Buckley calling for Conor McGregor, crazy call outs. But I agree with Kyle Borralho on this one.
Yeah, man. Cross. I mean, what do you think to that matchup?
I think it makes complete sense. I mean, Whittaker just lost to Hamzat, who's at number 3. You got to fight down in the rankings. It is what it is, and middleweight's going through a little replenishment of the contenders, and like you one of the older guys, you got to fight one of the young hungry lions coming up, and that's the game. You know what I mean?
And Borralho's as dangerous as they come. One of the young hungry lions in the division, and he makes his fight looks so effortless. Like he gets done fighting, he puts his glasses on, gives a nice post fight commentary, nice call outs. Nice guy as well.
Good fight IQ too. Yeah, really good fight IQ.
When you see him perform, that guy is destined for good things in the UFC. So I welcome that fight. I want to see that fight. I mean, I don't know about him and Strickland, man. I like the Bobby Knuckles fight. I mean, either fight gets him to a title fight. It's just about who's really next now for DDP.
I don't really like Whittaker, Strickland. I don't even like Cal Strickland. Like Strickland, you've been a champ, you just lost another title fight. Like you gotta fight down. You know what I mean? Imavov's on the way up, he's up there, Hamzat's up there, Cal's up there. Like these older veteran guys that have been there, like you gotta fight down.
Yeah, I mean, look, Klaus is asking who you got, Caio versus Strickland, if it happened, if they fought. Yeah.
That's a very interesting one. Especially because of how Strickland fights. It's not entertaining, it's not interesting, it's not spectacular, but it wins fights. That's why he is one of the most successful decision and split decision fighters in the division. So it's very tricky to say that Caio would be able to steamroll him, because Strickland does have his suffocating measures. So, let's see. I think I would go Strickland by split, honestly, because that's just how he fights.
What are you thinking, Cross?
I would go with Cal Borralho, just simply because you got the tape of what DDP just did to Strickland, and Cal is so well-rounded, he can give Strickland a lot of different things. Like Cal Borralho will grapple with Strickland. That's going to be in the back of Strickland's mind. And I personally just think everybody coming out of fighting nerves, man. That whole gym's on fire, just like somebody said in the chat.
Yeah, that gym is crazy, man. That gym is crazy. Leroy says, I also think the brass might not want that. One of the reasons the middleweight division has been slow is because Whittaker kept smashing up all the newcomers before they fought for the belt. This is true, and that's why Bobby Knuckles for me is that, like, sometimes when you hear the way Yao be talking about Bobby Knuckles, I'm like, come on, dog. Like this, come on, man. You must have forgot what Bobby Knuckles really did in that division, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
The thing is, Ola, Robert Whittaker's current record has forgotten what he did in the division. And that's really the catch. That's where he is now. What he did before, yes, it counts, but it's not where he is now.
Hey, that's how sports are. It's what have you done for me lately? That's just the way it is, unfortunately. You know?
Chat, the audience, what Yao is really telling you is yesterday's price in today's price. That's it. Yesterday's price is not today's price, man. Okay, let's get onto the next video. This one is more closer to home for Cross. So I'm going to be coming to you on this one. Let's hear it.
Tom Aspinall shares an update on a potential fight with John Jones. He confirms that he's been in active discussions with the UFC, who are eager to make the fight happen. However, he states that negotiations are being delayed from John's side.
Where we're at right now is I have spoken to the UFC on multiple occasions about this fight. I'm chasing it up. I want the fight. Been on record and said that I want the fight. I've been on the phone with the UFC saying that I want the fight. When's it happening? I want the fight more than anyone. What is holding it up right now is his side. That's the truth of it. The UFC really want the fight to happen. They've told me that. This is, as I said, this is one of the biggest fights that can be made. Does he want to put himself in a position where he's comfortable enough financially to take the risk that he's taking to fight me? And that is where we're at. Like, the UFC tell me, they assure me that they are doing everything they can to make this fight. So it's totally, as far as I'm aware, this is now totally down to John Jones and his team to work that out. And I'm literally just waiting for a date. But what's holding it back is the UFC want to make the fight with me and John. And as far as I'm aware, it's now about, I don't know, maybe financial or otherwise, I'm not too sure, to be honest, but I'm just waiting for the call right now. So remember what I said quite a while ago now? I will retire John Jones without even fighting him. That's something that I said. And John, let's do it. If you want to do it, you don't have to ask me twice. If not, I'll fight somebody else for the undisputed belt. Happy to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, doesn't matter, I'm ready to go.
Number 6th ranked heavyweight Jailton Almeida called out Tom Aspinall. He reposted Tom's video on X. He wrote, "If the fight against Jones doesn't work, let's go, champ. Forget Gone. He ducked you before. He is ducking me now. Besides that, he already lost 2 times in title fights and his last win was a robbery. Let's make Aspinall versus Almeida for the undisputed title."
First of all, how about Almeida there throwing shade at Cyril Gane for that robbery, robbing Volkov the way he did? I'm still pissed off about that because I lost points. I lost dog of the week. That shit pissed me off.
It was personal.
Yeah, it was personal. I'm still hurt about that. But that aside, what Tom is saying there in terms of John Jones not really giving the UFC or signing the bout agreement. Ultimately, that's what we want to hear on both sides, that the bout agreement is been signed, the contract's been signed, and the fight's going to go ahead on this date, right? But it seems like the UFC is ready, Tom's ready, without making any demands, without making, asking for this amount of money or that amount of money or making stipulations. He said, I'll just turn up and fight. But we're not seeing anything from John's side. And you know how I feel about John, but I gotta be biased here and turn it to you, Cross. Talk to us. What's going on?
Now, Chad, I gotta warn you, don't be too mad with me. The reason why the reason why the fight hasn't happened is because the UFC and John Jones, they're all waiting to see what happens this weekend. Because depending what happens this weekend, it's gonna have all the dominoes are gonna fall after this weekend. If Poatan wins on Saturday, he could call out John Jones. John Jones already said he wants to fight Poatan. I'm just saying, if it happens, Tom Aspinall gonna be left out in the cold. He's gonna be left holding. He's gonna be the odd guy out. Now, if Poatan wins and he just calls out, he just says, I want to go up to heavyweight. Now, if John doesn't want to make the fight with Aspinall, now you can make Poatan against Aspinall for undisputed at heavyweight. And Poatan is still going for the 3 division championship. So I think that's why the fight hasn't got announced, just because the UFC and John Jones just waiting to see what happens this weekend.
I mean, Yao, what's your perspective? I mean, I'm going to come back to Yao on the Almeida side of the video, but let me get Yao's thought on what he thinks is going on, and what you actually think should be happening as per what you think is going on.
So this is for you, Cross. I'm going to quote J.D. Vance. I don't think it's fair for Tom Aspinall to come here and litigate this in front of the American people, because John Jones, the GOAT, can do what he wants. But realistically speaking, Aspinall is pushing for this fight. He's been pushing for this fight. He's just looking for another way to try and push for this fight. Does the UFC want it? The UFC wants the biggest bag. John wants the biggest bag. Poatan is the biggest bag. And I think, like Cross said, they're looking to see what happens next, if they can make the fight within the next year, because at the end of the day, John is about to turn 40. He's very close to 40. He doesn't have that much time. Yes, if we look at the other fighters who go past 40, he might, but realistically speaking, not that much time. So they're all trying to secure the biggest bag as to who is the baddest man on the planet, not just who is the best heavyweight. So I agree. They're probably just waiting. Are they blowing smoke up Tom's ass? Probably just a little bit in saying, we're trying to make this John Jones fight. Yeah, trying, but at the end of the day, the bag dictates. So Tom has to do whatever he can, which is including bringing this to us, the fans, to say, guys, listen, you've seen what I've been doing. I'm calling out John Jones. I'm telling him I'm going to retire him without fighting him, but nothing's happening. Help, help. So I think it's really a cry for help from Tom Aspinall to get this fight made, more than the UFC not knowing or not being able to make this fight happen.
I mean, let me ask you this, yeah, because the side of Poatan and the potential of Poatan going up to fight Tom is a risky move for the UFC, no? Because what if, and I know a lot of people ain't thinking it, but what if Ankalaev beat Poatan, bro? Don't that give Jones even more leverage to say, yeah, you ain't even got nowhere to go with that? What if Ankalaev beats Poatan? How much leverage does that give John?
The thing is, John already has all the leverage right now. They're just waiting to see which is the most financially viable leverage. So if Alex loses and it's not as financially viable to make the fight, then obviously Tom Aspinall fight will most likely get made. If Alex wins and it becomes financially viable to make that fight, more financially viable, then they do it. So essentially, that's a misnomer when it comes to John Jones.
So could it lead to Jones getting stripped if they follow the Poatan route?
I don't think John's going to allow himself to get. I think he will fight whoever it is that is the bag, and if they're not going to make the Poatan fight the right amount,
yeah.
I mean, hold on. If the two biggest guys in the sport are calling for a fight, come on now.
You take the one with the biggest money.
Yeah, we said earlier on, you know, when we were talking just before you arrived, these guys are always thinking about their bottom dollar, man. You know what I mean? It's you know, that's is the bottom line for them. Look,
John Jones is 40. It's his last chance to make money. So I mean, it's not really about the bag per se. He is 40. It's literally his last chance to make money from a fight. So I would also milk it until I've got the right number, because what other chance do I have to do this? I don't.
I mean, the Almeida side of things, Cross. How do you think that? How do you think that pans out? Because I actually like that fight there for Almeida. If I mean, Tom already said they'll fight anybody as long as it's for the title. He don't give a fuck who you fight. He'll fight for the title.
I mean, it made perfect sense for Jailton Almeida to make that call out. There's nobody else for him to call out. I mean, Volkov's coming off a loss, even though he got robbed. Gon got a robbery win, and then like had a couple broken toes that he's coming back from. So the only other option, yeah, let me go to the interim champion Tom Aspinall, the guy that doesn't have a fight. His last fight lasted what, a minute or two. So he's healthy, and I know and Almeida knows Aspinall wants to fight, so he's looking out for his best interest. Like, hey, like I want my bag too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad fight. I'd watch it. I'd watch it definitely for the undisputed title. I'll watch it, but there's jeopardy there for Tom, and that's why Tom shouldn't be doing this, and rightfully so, like you said, for anything other than fighting for the title, because you give that one chance. Look what happened to Tony Ferguson. You know, you go and lose that time, you go and lose that and everything goes downhill from there. And you're in the heavyweight division, bro. Like, it's them punches are unforgiving up there. So yeah, look, I hope we see the John Jones Aspinall fight, man. I really do. I want to see that fight. And even I'm starting to kind of get frustrated with it a little bit. Like, you know what? Give us the fight already. You know, give us the fight already. Jones is healthy. Tom's healthy. And it takes one bad training for serious injury to happen to any of these two fighters. While both of you healthy, give us the fucking fight. as fight fans. That's what we want. Give us the fight while both of them are healthy. So we'll see what the UFC does with that. But Tom's definitely hungry, man. He wants to get back. He wants to get back in there. Okay, we got something here from Leroy. We'll come to Yao on this one. Let's go.
Jan Blachowicz shares his prediction for the upcoming light heavyweight title fight between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. Blachowicz is familiar with both men, having fought Ankalaev to a split draw in December of 2022 and losing a close split decision to Pereira in July of 2023. With Ankalaev stating that he plans to strike with Pereira instead of relying on his wrestling, Blachowicz believes that would be a critical mistake, predicting Ankalaev will lose if he does choose to stand and trade with the champion.
You have an opinion to give. Give us the opinion. Don't bullshit us, Jan. Who wins the fight?
So, if Ankalaev will be fight like Rakic, right, in the fight with Pereira, he gonna lose. He need to do something more. He need to use his wrestling skills to make like tired Pereira, make tired his hands, and then he can start fighting in stand-up. If he will fight in stand-up only like kickboxer, he gonna lose the fight. This is my opinion, you know. If he not gonna use his wrestling skill, he gonna do nothing, you know. He need to be more aggressive, you know. He have to believe in his skills, not like with Rakic. With Rakic, it was a very boring fight, you know. I almost goes to sleep, you know, without punches. So he need to do a little bit more. And Pereira, he have to do what he do all the time, you know. Good timing, good power punches, and that's it. Be careful on wrestling.
Yeah, but do you think he's willing to go out there and actually use his wrestling? Do you think he's got an ego about things that he's?
I think this is his like psychology game right now. You know, he gonna say that he gonna fight in stand-up, but if he gonna just catch him, he try to take him down.
So Yao, I spoke about this the last time. I said for me, Ankalaev got to bring that fight IQ in. And from what Jan is saying there, I think he's leaning the same way. What did you make of that whole, because Jan's been in there with both of them? What do you make of it?
What's interesting is that the only person I see beating Alex right now is Jan Blachowicz because of that split decision. He's been in there with Poatan and he knows what to do. He's right, but then again, essentially, there's not a single person who hasn't said that over the past 5 Alex Pereira fights. The question is his opponent willing to listen to what everyone has been saying for the past 5 Alex Pereira fights? Don't stand and bang, wrestle him. Saw Khalil Roundtree trying it, got knocked, like they destroyed his face. We've seen everyone trying to stand with Alex. So it's as simple as heed the warning. We've literally, the entire world has been saying what Jan just said. Doesn't even take having fought Alex Pereira to know that. So let's see what Ankalaev does. Yes, Jan is right, but like I said, we all know that. So what does it mean now?
I mean, Cross, you've told us time and time again what Pereira is going to do to Ankalaev if he chooses to stand and bang with him. But from what Jan is saying there, he's saying he don't think Ankalaev is going in there to stand and bang. And that's what I've been thinking. He thinks he's just saying that. And they're going to go in the octagon and do something else. What are you saying?
So I'm just gonna take my feelings out of it.
Right.
Ankalaev averages less than 1 takedown per fight. He has no submission wins, no submission attempts in his career. So can he wrestle? Yes, he can. But he doesn't wrestle until he has to. Now, the way I see this fight playing out, like Alex gonna start touching him up a little bit, and then Ankalaev is gonna be like, all right, I need to wrestle. Like, he's gonna come out on the feet and it's like, all right, I want to see. I can beat Alex Pereira on the feet. And then he's gonna get a little taste of it. He's like, nah, let's not do this. Let me go to this ground game. Let me get this single leg. Let me get this double leg or get in the clinch. And then that's when I think Ankalaev will start to use the grappling. But I mean, hey, if he want to come out and he want to strike, I'm all for it.
I bet you are.
He ain't gonna hurt my feelings if he trying to do that.
I bet you are. I mean, for me, if I'm Ankalaev, like, I'm going in there, I'm feinting a level change. right there and then. Just letting you know it's there. I'm gonna try for it again if I see it. I ain't waiting till second round. I'm not waiting till the second minute. If you dance around a little level change, just feint a level change, just to let him know it's enough to move his feet out of the way, just to let him know, all right, the intentions are there. And then, if anything, it will at least make Pereira choose his striking a bit more carefully, you know what I mean? Especially in that first round, if you're not looking to get starched out in the first round, which could very well happen when a fighter like Alex Pereira is lurking around with that left hand. Yeah, he's got a nuke in those hands, left or right. If he catches you, especially the left, no wind up, no telegraph, no nothing,
just bang.
Mm-hmm. and Ola, I got a question for you. I know which side you're going on this fight, but I'm curious. What Magomed Ankalaev win convinces you that he wins this fight?
That's a good question. None, actually, especially the way
so
Alex
Cross
fights.
just hit the. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Exactly.
I had to think back as well. Like, actually, none. But that's what's intriguing about it, because of the type of wins that he's got. Nothing that convinces you that he's going to do that. You have to make it boring as well. If you like Jan Blachowics nearly did, you have to kind of make it boring as well if you want to try and get that decision, and that's what it might have to take to get past Alex Pereira. Maybe you're not going to finish it, but you might have to grind out a couple rounds. You might have to take a couple rounds, and the other round is all up in the air. But because Pereira is such a champion, you might have judges that feel like you should take it from the camp, or you might have judges that might feel, you know what, you did enough. The champ is supposed to be keeping his belt. So it depends what you get on the day. And it's going to be interesting this weekend, man. One thing, look, I'm not even pining for Alex. Let's make this clear. Let's make Cross. Let's make this clear. I'm not even pining for Alex to lose. I just want to see how well-rounded he is. And somebody like Ankalaev, I think with the fights that he's had, kind of will ask those questions. That's what I'm getting out of this fight. It's not even a fight for Alex to go and lose. You know what I mean? So just putting that out there. I'm not even out for Alex to lose, but I want to see him have
a tough fight. I get it. Ola, I get it. I get it. Trust me. I get it. Hey, I understand. Absolutely. Absolutely. I understand for sure.
That's what I want to see. So, you know, I like Alex Pereira. I think he's done wonderful things in the UFC since he arrived, and we spoke numerous times about the amount of card. You know, he saved card after card for the UFC, and you know, welcoming all comers, wherever they put to him, and he's gone out there and done a spectacular job. So, you know, I like him as a champion, and he's a busy champion as well. So, like, what's not to like about Alex Pereira? But I want to see him in that top fight. You know,
absolutely, I get it.
I'm still a fight fan at the end of the day. So yeah, there you go.
All and right, I want to bring up one more thing to you, Ola.
Yeah.
So I think Ankalaev's best win is probably Alexander Rakic.
Right.
And that was a decision win, right? Yuri Prochazka goes out there and finished him inside of 2 rounds. So, and then he did not wrestle at all and has said in countless interviews, he's not going to wrestle. He's going to strike. And as you know, brother, lying is haram.
Hey, that man told us he's not observing Ramadan. So he could be lying to everyone right now. He already came out and told everyone, I'm not doing Ramadan. So he could be lying to everybody right now, and no one will be the wiser. So we'll see. I want to see what he does in this in this fight here that's coming up on the weekend. But we got one here with Alex Pereira. Let's have a look.
Alex Pereira is not happy with Magomed Ankalaev over some recent comments he made regarding Alex drinking alcohol. Alex has been very open about his struggles with alcohol in the past and has stated that he's been sober for over 10 years. At one point, he said he was drinking up to 1 liter a day.
Eu falei, pô, prometi pra mim mesmo, sabe, que eu ia parar. E faz, sei lá, 9 anos aí que eu não bebo mais absolutamente nada.
Ankalaev posted this on X back in January. He wrote, at Alex Pereira, he'd go to all UFC fight to get free alcohol and get camera time. On the other hand, I've been training so hard, March 8th alcohol not help you. Shama. Alex finally addressed this today in a video he uploaded to his YouTube channel. He said, I don't even pay attention to what he says. The thing he said most about was the alcohol. I don't have that feeling just for me, but I know the pain of the people. He is playing with the feelings of the fans, feelings of the people who go through that. For what he is going to do at the fight, what he isn't going to do, I just stick to myself. I don't say anything. If I say something and I don't do it, it will get ugly for me. If he isn't able to do what he said, he will have consequences with that. I don't pay attention to that. If you can't be a champion as a fighter, you can be a champion in life. I stopped drinking after 4 years of training. I already won. That's a victory. So I'm a champion in life.
Yo, Ankalaev playing mind games. I mean, it's not as good as Merab, but
Odricus.
Odricus, yeah. I mean, Drick
can give you that. Can give him that.
Yeah,
can give him
I give you that. But going around touching up on the alcohol situation, we know obviously Alex's feelings towards alcohol and you know the things he's been through with it. I mean, is that a good way to because Alex is not taking it. He's not taking it personal, but he's thinking, boy, I'm gonna do this for my fans because my fans, they go through this pain and he's playing with their pain. How you seeing the way he's pivoting? You know what Ankalaev said there.
I'm a big fan of the mind games aspect of MMA because, as everyone knows, fighting is at least 50% how you show up mentally on the day, which is why we always complain about fighters that give up, because the amount of skill you have doesn't matter if you give up. So using mind games is very important in MMA. Now, for Ankalaev, it's very interesting to see him, first of all, playing mind games, but second of all, using something that is so haram in Islam that it will always make you emotional if someone says something like what he's just said to Alex. The question is, will it land on someone like Alex, who knows he hasn't had a drink in 9 years, who doesn't have any issues? Or is it Magomed Ankalaev now trying to rally the fans? I'm not really sure about his approach and his choice, but I'm all for the mind games. You know, I don't know if this has had an impact on Alex, whether it's taken him back to the time where he was fighting for 4 years and still drinking all the time, and now it puts some doubt in his mind. I don't know Alex's mindset, but shout out to Ankalaev for actually trying to use mind games in this fight. Other than Izzy, I don't think there's anyone else who's really tried to actually play with Alex Pereira in terms of his mind. It's always, oh no, what's that style? I'm going to beat him. Oh, I'm going to stand and bang with Alex. It's always very direct about the fighting. It's the first guy to go for Alex like that. So it's very interesting. Let's see how it goes.
I mean, we're in fight week now with Alex Pereira about to face Ankalaev. How locked in do you think he is in? I mean, we've seen him defended so many times, and this guy always go out there and basically gets the job done.
I think for sure, like, he's 100% locked in. You got to think about it. This guy's a 2-division glory kickboxing champion. He's been in front of the most dangerous people on the planet on the feet. He's a 2-division champion in the UFC. Like, he's locked in. He knows what he needs to do. He knows how to get prepared. But hey, I got no problems with Ankalaev trying to put something out there to get inside of Alex Pereira's head, play some mind games, because you got to do what you got to do to win the fight at the end of the day. Because I mean, if Ankalaev goes in there and he says something and now Pereira isn't fighting his usual self and isn't sticking to his game plan, that's only going to help Ankalaev. So at the end of the day, say what you got to say, but at the end of the day, they're going to get locked in there and they're going to figure it out amongst themselves.
Very quickly, with regards to the stats we saw about Ankalaev not having any takedowns, etc., I'm pretty sure his stats are very similar to Alex's stats. What if Alex takes him down and wins by submission?
My God! Oh my God!
I mean, the odds on that one, you're probably getting like plus 7,000.
I mean, y'all to when you think about it, the one takedown Pereira did get, he did win the fight, and we know who that was against. That was against Ola's boy.
Yeah, that still hurts. That still hurts. And I've seen this motherfucker as well grappling with Glover in the snow with no shoes on for what seems like ages.
Yeah,
you could be onto something there, you know. Yeah, you could. I mean, what if he takes Ankalaev down and advances
5p on Poatan to 5 pounds on Poatan to win? You probably make like $500. Win by submission, you probably get like £500 back.
You might get more than that back.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. That's crazy. And yeah, who knows? I don't think anyone's ever finished Ankalaev before as well. So you know, that's
Paul Craig. Paul Craig finished him.
Oh, they finish him?
Mm-hmm. By sub. Like Ankalaev was winning the whole fight, dominating him, and then Paul Craig caught him in a triangle like at the end of the fight.
Right.
Okay. Shout out
Sterling. Big up Sterling for real. If Ankalaev doesn't shoot within 10 seconds, big up McDane. I ain't watching him getting knocked out. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said McDane, like, why wait around? You gotta change. You gotta be showing that boy I'm intending to take you down at any second. You know what I mean? At least just feint it. You know, you ain't gotta go for the full takedown. Just feint it. But boy, if you don't do that, I'm right there with you, McDane. I ain't sitting around to watch you get knocked out, man. But boy, we'll see on the watch along, man. We'll see on the watch along. It's gonna be mad. We've got one more video here. Let's get right here.
Colby Covington appeared to run into Themba Gorimbo at the UFC Performance Institute. The pair previously trained together at MMA Masters, with Themba once describing Colby as a great man, recalling how Colby would bring him food to the gym. However, their relationship soured in 2023 when Themba claimed that Colby had him removed from the UFC PI while he was cutting weight for his fight against Leon Edwards. Here's what went down today during Colby's live stream on Twitch.
These hoes down there. The ungrateful motherfucker we used to feed. I think we should just go train around him, actually.
Colby's a fucking troll. I'm telling you, man. But yo, I mean, that's the homie Themba Gorimbo, man. And Colby will always be Colby, right? So I expected that kind of behavior and all of that from him. But what do you make of that video you just seen?
The only thing I have to ask myself is, who's Colby training for? None of us really want to see him fight. As long I know he's still in the top 10, you know, of the welterweight division, but
how?
Like, who's he training for? Really? So he should leave it to the more active current fighters, which, as much as he lost his last fight by submission, which is Themba Gorimbo. I'm not too sure why their relationship evolved, but, you know, it is Colby Covington. It's unfortunate to see, especially when it's a relationship that was obviously so close. But then again, we've seen Colby Covington falling out with his roommate, Jorge Masvidal. So at this point, the common denominator is Colby Covington. So he's just, like you said, Ola, being Colby Covington. Why he's hiding from Themba Gorimbo in the gym is also weird. Like, bro, go in and train. What are you doing? What are you doing hiding on the steps saying, oh, it's that dude? I mean, come on, Colby.
I mean, do you think he's thinking on the trajectory that he's going now? It won't be long before he starts seeing guys like Themba Gorimbo. And after moving the way he did, maybe I'll stay out of the way. And whatever new techniques that I'm practicing, maybe I don't want to be doing it in front of Themba Gorimbo when the Hungry Lions start climbing up the rankings, and maybe, you know, they have to fight in 2-3 fights, whatever. What do you make?
I mean, personally, I think it's kind of weird. Like, these two guys used to have some type of relationship, and y'all can't just have a conversation and put it all out there and just put it in the past. Like, you gotta duck off and hide from another man. Like, bro, like, that's so weird. For real. Like, everybody's at a train. Y'all are both two grown men. Talk it out. Be like, hey, this is what it is. I didn't like whatever. Get to the end of it, and that's the end of it. Like, go about your business, get better. At the end of the day, like, I don't know who he's about to fight, because I mean, I don't think he has a win over anybody in the UFC currently. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Currently, no.
Like we said,
last one was Jorge Masvidal in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Colby will be Colby, man. That's just Colby doing Colby things. But I don't know. I don't mind seeing him fight, though. It's just who's next for him. And after what Joaquin Buckley did, I don't know for Colby now, man. I don't, you know what I mean? Like that boy put him to shame. That boy, he put him to shame, like serious shame. We've got one here from Belal. I'll come to cross on this one, but this one's funny. Let's hear it.
Belal Muhammad is totally unwilling to give Leon Edwards a rematch at the moment, even if he beats Sean Brady at UFC London. For those unaware, Belal first fought Leon in March of 2021, but the bout ended in a no contest after Leon accidentally poked Belal in the eye during the second round. Leon then went on to capture the welterweight title just 2 fights later, while Belal clawed his way back up the rankings. Belal eventually defeated Leon via unanimous decision in their rematch this past July to claim the belt. Now Belal says he plans to return the favor, making Leon wait 3 years for another shot at the title, just like he had to.
I don't know what Leon's thinking, but because like Leon, you have a full 3 years before you could even think about getting a rematch. Like, it's gonna be a long years of fighting contenders for Leon.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Yeah, what about
you're a son of a 3 years. 3 years. Go to London.
Would you do that? Let's just say, all jokes aside, I've gone red. You made me laugh. Let's say UFC comes here. Let's say Leon goes out there, smokes Sean, which isn't going to be easy, of course. Shout out to Sean. But hypothetically, Leon does that. UFC call you. You say no. That. He poked me in the eye and made me wait. Is that what you would say?
Oh, 100%. I would make him wait, and then I would. But like I have the next guy in line anyway. I think is Shavkat. So there's nothing I don't think he could do to skip Shavkat. I wouldn't allow that to even happen with Leon.
Yeah. Even if it was the most impressive performance, you're like, nah.
Yeah, he could go out there, throw a cartwheel kick, spinning back fist, and then I'm still gonna put LOL. He still sucks.
Belal really, you really don't want to give Leon that chance. I mean, what do you make of that whole situation there? He's talking about making him wait for 3 years. You know, I understand not skipping Shavkat though. That I do understand. I think Shavkat's done enough in the division, even though his last fight kind of made people think, maybe he's not that good. But I think he just looked off. But sometimes, especially in relation to Shavkat, before moving away from that topic, sometimes good fighters have to go through that adversity and still get through it, and that's how you see the character. And I think he displayed that in his last fight, even though he looked a little bit off. But for this one here with Belal, not giving Edwards a chance.
I have no problems with this at all. Simply because Belal Muhammad went to London and took the belt right off of Leon Edwards. And Leon Edwards did not do a thing about it. So at the end of the day, like, Belal is well within his rights. He didn't owe anything to Leon. Now, like, Leon got to go and earn the chance to get another opportunity at it just because of that defense he had. And that's pretty much where I'm at it. And then on top of it, just like he said, Shavkat is after the guy right after the JDM fight.
Yeah, yo.
Look, but Belal is a very vocal person where it comes to the fights that he doesn't have in front of him. No one's asking him to really fight Leon Edwards, maybe except for Leon Edwards. None of us, like Cross has said, that none of us are really expecting that. We're all happy that he's got JDM to fight now, and that Shavkat is next. So
to be fair, just to quickly say, to be fair, you know, even Leon talking about the fight that's about to happen on the 22nd, which I'm gonna be at. McDane's gonna be there. Cage Scribe, we're all gonna meet over there. It's gonna be a great night meeting with the boys. So yeah, we're looking forward to go to that fight. But Leon was talking about this fight is just a stepping stone for him to get back to the title. So from when Leon puts a title in his mouth, you straight away invoke any kind of comment from Belal. And I think Belal was within his rights to respond. No, please carry on.
Fair enough. And also based on the history they have, the 2 fights in the bag, there is a trilogy in there. We all like trilogies because they really give us a feel on whether the fight is won. And okay, fine, fair enough. Belal, this one I'll withdraw because, as you know, I have my beef with Belal since his podcaster's comment.
Belal's a bloody podcaster himself.
Right, he's always on them, but how's he complaining about us, dude? Like, come on, bro.
It's crazy. No, I just think he's trolling, man. Belal's crazy like that. Belal should walk to the cage with a cowl like iron shit. Yeah, for real. Big up everybody in the house. Thank you very much to everybody that's rolled with us tonight, whether you're watching on live, whether you're watching on playback. Please make sure you're subscribing to these guys on the panel. We got Head Kick Podcast, Kick Him in the Head, and we got Crossover MMA. Make sure you're going to show them love. The Rambling That Podcast. We've got Cage Scribe, MMA Anomaly, S-Dogs MMA, Making the Walk. All those guys, please make sure you're showing their platform a lot of love and go subscribe to them if you haven't already. We're going to be back with the prediction show on Friday for this card 313, and we're doing a watch along, main card watch along. Come join us for that one. We're going to be here live, and everybody make sure you're hitting that notification bell so you know when we go live. Salute to every single one of you. Cross, yeah, thank you very much for pulling up, and then yeah, up onto the next one. Hasta la vista. We're out. Salute.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.